There needs to be pressure in order to grow. I really wanted to challenge myself this year with something difficult that would really push me to the next level. I was also thinking of something creative that I could do, which would also involve physical training that I really enjoy. I was sort of floating this idea around to some different friends, and one of them eventually suggested, hey, why don't you do 2 workouts a day for X amount of days? And eventually I settled on 14 days straight. So for me, I've never done this amount of physical training before. It's going into unknown territory for me, which is exactly the point. It's exciting. It's slightly terrifying. A lot of professional athletes train twice a day on a regular basis, which was part of the inspiration for me. A lot of MMA fighters do it, and I just wanted to see if I could sort of match that intensity for 14 days. So this is purely for the challenge of it. I'm obviously not getting paid to do it. It's just for the love and just to develop my own character. So 14 days felt like a good amount of time because you also have to fit in work commitments and social commitments and just the rest of life in general. So why am I doing it? A large part of it is curiosity. I genuinely want to see what I can handle, what the human spirit can handle. And on an individual level, physical training is something it's really been the foundation that I've built my character upon. So I thought this would be one good vehicle to really see how fit could I get? How strong could I get? How mentally tough could I get? Would I be able to show up for that second workout over 14 days? Would I be dreading it? Would I love it? What would be the result in the long term? So part of the reason for documenting this is I thought that it would really keep me accountable. Like I really wanted to do something creative, but I thought, if there's a camera in my face and I've told a few of my friends and family, then I would have to show up and do this. It sort of keeps you accountable on a social level, knowing that other people are going to watch this. I heard an interesting idea once by Joe Rogan actually, and he was saying, if you really want to stop procrastinating, imagine that there's a documentary crew following you around at all times, and that would really force you into action because there's like a sort of pressure there. It's very obvious when you're mucking around and not really doing what you should be doing. So I did some meal prep, organized some of the workouts, and got to it. So the first workout, I went to the gym with my cousin John, who's an absolute animal.
We're working out 4 a.m. McGregor.
Really hoping that 4 a.m. stuns you. Really hoping. Like, it'll throw you into starter.
Oh yeah.
It's really fucking.
And we did a heavy bag workout. So we're just smacking the heavy bags for a few rounds, 3-minute rounds typically.
So much better to get it
Hard, like on your base. Don't do it for the flash.
I remember when I was doing karate when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was like my son's like, you've got to teach me all the bad kicks. And he's like, yeah, learn how to kick like a front kick first. Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't even do that.
So recently we've been sort of doing these kickboxing workouts, and then we do some light strength stuff. On this particular occasion, I saw that John had been learning how to do a dragon flag, which a lot of people may know as a move that Bruce Lee, the famous, one of the first ever mixed martial artists, made famous. And of course he can do a dragon flag because he's an absolute machine. So the second workout of that day, I met up with my friend Jarek later in the afternoon, and we ended up doing a pad workout, which we've been regularly doing. over the past, well, outside of the lockdown, over the past year and a half maybe. So the original plan was do one hard workout a day, then do sort of a lighter one in the afternoon. But I think just the general excitement around the challenge, I was really keen to push it hard. Got a little bit carried away at times. And when you're being filmed, you really want to just impress a little bit more. So ended up going a little bit harder than I probably should have. But it was a lot of fun and it was a really, really solid workout. Felt good after that one. So it's day 2 of the training vlog. Got 2 really good ones in yesterday. Now we're getting into the consecutive stage. I don't think I've ever done more than just one day of 2 workouts in a day in a row. So today's going to be interesting. The plan is to get a hard strength training session in and then probably go for a run at an oval later on. So did some incline dumbbell bench press. Also worked in some supersets, which means you do one exercise and then immediately follow with another exercise. So I did some push-ups and then into some ring pull-ups. I really like supersets because they're very time efficient if you like to get it done quickly. So did a few of those, worked in some straight bar deadlifts. It is a little bit awkward to film at the gym sometimes, depending which room I'm in. So I didn't get footage of every exercise I did, but here's some of the footage. Okay, about to go for a run. It's workout 2 of day 2. And I'm going to use an app called Strava in order to record what I'm doing, which I don't normally do. So interesting to see how this goes. Just got done on the run. Yeah, Strava's actually a good app. Sweaty as hell, but second workout down. So today we're doing bouldering, which I've never actually done before. My friend Jarek's been nagging me to do it for a good while, and I've kind of been putting it off, sort of like dodging him a little bit, but here we are, and he's gonna know that I'm not all talk here. We're here to get it done, so pretty keen to see how it goes. So workout 1 for the day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
So I'm a complete amateur in all of this, and so while I was trying to sort of grasp the real basics of it, which I'm grateful that Jarek was guiding me through it, it was like he was guiding a little baby who is just learning how to walk. And yeah, he's doing all this crazy shit while I'm sort of just like learning the ropes and just understanding how to actually like place my hand properly on each little boulder. It was actually a lot of fun. There's different colors that indicate how much you're progressing. There was one climb in particular that I got through the whole way and I just couldn't find a way to place both of my hands stably on the last boulder, which is what you have to do to technically complete the climb.
Yeah. So you gotta get your hips in closer to the wall. Yes, you got it. That, get lower, yep.
So I wasn't able to get this particular one, which was kind of disappointing, but is what it is. Then towards the end of the session when we were done with the bowling stuff, I said, hey Jarek, I want to flex a little bit, film me doing something that's a bit in my wheelhouse. So I got Jarek to film me doing some pull-ups. Then I just started climbing up this wall. And then I genuinely fell off at the end, which serves me right, mate. Alright, well, let's do it. So later on that day, I met up with my friend Mig to do some pad work. The electrician.
What do it mean to me? My shit expired before you could meet with me. Look, I don't need a beat. I'ma just use the canvas to paint you the scenery. Blowing that greeny leaf. Give me 24 hours, I'm back in the north side to re-up. Then fuck it, I'm back to put me up. Took a break, they ain't hit me up. Yeah, they ain't hit me up. And lately I ain't even got a team with me. I just keep it 350 like the movie Probably shit you ain't never seen on me. What you need to do?
For a kickstart?
Nah, not really. Oh, yeah, let's go. Right foot comes up. Like that.
Probably shit you ain't never seen on me. What you need to boost? Maybe you can get a feature from me. That's
Mig had never actually held pads before, and after a few of the kicks I threw, I think they had his forearms were getting a little bit red.
You're right, love. Nah, it's not. No.
I think I know about it.
Can you even see anything, or is there like nothing there?
Well, it's actually perfect. It's wider than it was before. Nah, just from holding the pads long.
I'm gonna go home and show my mum.
Get a.
Spark properly, Lum, because I don't want to have to get into a fucking fight one day, Lum. I'm gonna go to punch the guy.
Yeah, I agree, Lom.
Towards the end of the session, Mig suggested that we do a little bit of light sparring, so we ended up doing some body sparring, so no headshots. You can just hit to the body or to the legs. Now, we didn't have all the proper equipment like shin guards and that sort of thing, so we were going fairly light. It was a lot of fun. The goal is to just get a feel for that pressure of having someone in front of you in a real fight situation, get comfortable in that sphere and just sort of learn how to advance on someone, how to defend, how to move, all these sorts of little things. And we ended up going for around like 20 minutes and it just flew by because it was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I'm not even going. That's it.
So day 4 came around and I decided to get another strength workout in at the gym. There was a heavy focus on doing the trap bar deadlifts in this particular session, and I really like doing these ones because I can go a little bit heavier. It makes me look ripped, especially if I'm going really heavy, maybe more ripped than I actually am, but just because all the blood's pumping and all the muscles are firing and you're wearing the extra small shirts. Yeah, it all combines to make you look really ripped. So I was focusing on those ones today. Did a few pull-ups as well, some different strength exercises. I'm watching the footage now and I think a girl must have walked past because I started doing the tricep exercises really quickly. And then also mixing in some core stuff as well with the resistance bands, which are really good to mix it up. Okay, it's day 4, workout 2. Yeah, I gotta admit this was probably the first day where I started to feel it a little bit, so end of day 4. After the strength workout this morning, my muscles are feeling a bit sorer than usual because I haven't had much of a chance to recover from all the other workouts that I've been doing. But yeah, it was interesting. I just came from work directly, and beforehand I was kind of not dreading it, like, but I was a bit fatigued. I was like, you know, thoughts start coming in your head. Maybe I'll go do the workout, then I'll take a rest day tomorrow, then get back on the horse. But now that I'm here, I actually feel fine. Maybe the different activity of going to work, and then just ate a banana, had some dark chocolate. Now that I'm here, I'm kind of fired up. Change it to me workout clothes, mate. Nice and tight. Oh, look at those veins. So anyway, we're gonna get it. I'm gonna do a cardio workout. I wrote a reminder to myself just to show up and go lighter if necessary. But the main thing was just to show up and not bail out of this one. But feel good now. Let's go. And yeah, day 4. So day 5, I was doing a solo heavy bag workout. I tried a few flashy kicks to throw in there, which are really fun, especially if you start getting a little better at them, which I'm certainly not there yet. You know, it can make you feel like a ninja, and that sort of adds into your motivation as well, because it's always fun to throw all that spinning shit.
Keep going, bro. Don't make me. Don't even stop you.
just got done on another run. The second one for day 5. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, it was a pretty emotional day today for personal reasons. But you know, if anything, yeah, it's even more clear why I need to become the strongest man that I could possibly be. I know that means more than just exerting yourself physically, but it's one concrete way to do it. And yeah, just hammered the point home. I need to be as strong as I can possibly be, not because of myself, but because other people depend on you, family depends on you. And yeah, the more solid you are as a character, the more that you can support them and everyone else that you are networked with, everyone else that you know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have a plate of pasta tonight, maybe a glass of vino. We're in Carlton Gardens today, about to get a workout in. Haven't gotten any in yet today, so we're going to try and smash out rings workout, so get the strength happening, and then maybe take a little short break and then hit pads later on, work on some more technical stuff, some flashy stuff. So brought Jarek along with me. He's pretty keen. I've roped him into all this shit, so hopefully he doesn't mind. But anyway, let's get to it. This was an insight a little bit into my quarantine workout. So once the gyms were closed, I was fortunate to already have a set of rings, which is some really versatile gym equipment. You could do so much different stuff with just a pair of rings if you know what you're doing. And so a lot of time I just go to the local park and just rep out some pull-ups, push-ups, rows, ring rollouts, all these different exercises. Who you got in Poirier McGregor?
I got McGregor starching Poirier, to be honest.
We were training in Carlton Gardens, and I kind of find it hilarious when we were doing the kickboxing stuff because it's such a serene environment. It's really beautiful if you've ever been there. And it's just kind of hilarious, the contrast between us doing all this sort of aggressive, violent activity and then having that surrounded by all this beauty. But it is what it is. Also tried a few more flashy kicks on the kick pad. And then towards the end, I suggested to Jarek that we do some body sparring. I think after the workout with Mig, I was like, let's keep the ball rolling and sort of try and progress things to the next level. There was one point where I threw a leg kick at Jarek and he checked it beautifully.
Nice. That was very nice.
So day 7 came around, so we're getting to the halfway point of the challenge, and the body was starting to feel a little stiff at this point. It did feel like I would have benefited from a day off or two, but didn't really matter because we're here to get it done and you have to push through that sort of thing. So I thought I'd do a workout at home. So this is another one that was sort of something that I would have done during the quarantine period. I was fortunate to have some kettlebells already because it was really hard to buy weights during that whole quarantine period. Everyone wanted to do the same thing now that the gyms were closed. So yeah, did a few exercises around the apartment, got real nice and sweaty, made some gorilla noises and all that sort of thing. And then later on in that day, I went to the gym, got on the bike and cranked out, I believe, another 25 minutes. So day 8, hit the gym with my cousin John again. Now this was the day of the Poirier-McGregor fight in the UFC, which if you're a fight fan or even just a casual fan of sports, you were probably pretty interested in this particular one. I was pretty hyped about it, so the goal was to train in the morning and then hit the pub later on to watch the fight. Went to the pub, sank a few frothies, then burned it off in the evening with an evening run. Just got done on an evening run. Yeah, went a fair bit lighter than the previous ones today. Just feeling a bit of knee pain, but the main thing is just to show up. And I showed up, got a few Ks in. Yeah, kind of really, it's fucking hot, tell you what. But yeah, had a good day today. Watched the McGregor Poirier fight card, which I was super keen about. After hitting pads, we went and yeah, when Susted, our boy Michael Chandler got up, which I was pretty excited about. Coming over from Ballador and getting that first round knockout win. Congrats to Michael. And yeah, I was just genuinely surprised at what happened in the McGregor Poirier fight. I thought Poirier could win, but I thought it would be unlikely, and I thought it would be in the later rounds if he did win. But man, he showed me, came to play, had a good game plan, kicking those calves around, busting them up, and yeah, I couldn't really believe what I was seeing, to be honest. McGregor hasn't been knocked out in the octagon before, technically knocked out, so congrats to him. I'm gonna go drink and eat something now, but yeah, talk to you soon. So day 9, got a strength workout at the gym.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
It was a little awkward to film, like I mentioned earlier, in certain spots, so I didn't get footage of every exercise, but here's a few that I did. Then later that night, I came back and did a heavy bag workout. And while I was doing it, I started talking to one of the other guys in there, and I just liked the way that he was hitting the bag. I told him so. And then we were just exchanging some information. He was telling me that he prefers to hit pads bare knuckle sometimes, for the reason being sometimes if you use the really thick padded boxing gloves, you can sort of get away with not having great technique, which can be an issue if you ever downsize to smaller gloves, or if you're in a street fight, maybe you've got a bit of a delusional sense of how good you are or how accurate your punches are or how good your technique is. So then I decided, I'll just hit the bag bare knuckle, not too hard, but just I was in that mood. Just got done with a heavy bag workout at the gym, had the strength workout this morning, and then I had a work shift in the evening, and then straight afterwards I was all packed, ready to go, came here, did my warm-up, went through the motions, and just cracked the bag for a few rounds. It's definitely a bit more intense than those cardio ones that I've been doing. Just a different sort of velocity when you're just smacking the bag with all your different limbs. But that's day 9 in the can. Feel like I'm on the home stretch now. Happy to be a part of this. I'm doing these workouts that I would never normally do if I hadn't have set this challenge. So it's really making me rethink sort of what I'm capable of at the moment, because I'm forcing it out of myself and have committed to it. So I just accept that I have to do it at this point. So interesting to see how the next few days go. And then So day 10, I went for my second bouldering session. I had a 1-week free trial, and so we organized it, got there. And so it was interesting kind of going from the first one to the second one, and I felt like my skill did improve a little bit. Definitely not gonna gas myself too much, because there was plenty of occasions where I just couldn't figure out what I was doing. Bouldering is really interesting because it's got this problem-solving element to it. You think it's just a physical thing, I just need to be strong enough to pull myself up. But it's really like a puzzle that you have to solve, and there's certain moments where I had to stop and think my way through where do I put my arm next? Where do I put my leg? And I was really unsure. Or I'd ask someone, I might ask Jarek, like, what do I do now? And that's part of the fun of it. It was something that I didn't really know about when I sort of went into it. So that was a lot of fun.
You got it.
And I did have another crack at the one that I failed on the first time.
Get that booty on. Get that booty on.
But then I found out later on that I'd actually sort of cheated in a sense. Earlier in the climb, I put my feet somewhere that I was not allowed to do, which was kind of a bummer, but I don't care because I ended up getting that last bit anyway. Where am I on the bouldering spectrum?
Let's see.
From best to ever do it to just beginner.
I think you still got a bit of work. You've got the strength, but it's the technique which you could improve a lot on.
Nah, fair enough. Alright, it's day 10. About to get the second workout in of the day. I'm at my parents' house. I'm in the garage and about to lay into this old heavy bag. I think I'm going to keep it just strictly hands, just do a boxing one. And this is kind of where it started. I started doing kickboxing lessons about 3.5 years ago now, and I set up the bag, just encouraged myself to, train a bit more. And I don't get here too much these days to train, but here we are, about to get it done, and thought I'd bring it back to the roots, mate. So about to get it done. Some tomato sauce there if you want some pasta. Zoom in on that. Oh yeah. Let's get it done. I'm sure the neighbours didn't miss having me there after all that noise, but sometimes you gotta just get in the garage and just smack the bag a little bit, and that felt really great to do that. So day 11, I went to the local oval and did a rings workout, so a strength workout. At this particular point, I had started getting a little bit of pain on the inside of my elbow here, which a few of these little niggles started popping up. I was getting a little bit of knee pain on the runs as well, which I don't think is too unusual. But I was kind of thinking, all right, after this, I'm probably gonna have to tone down the strength workouts a little bit. But for the time being, I felt okay enough to get through this particular one. And yeah, you just have to adapt. I couldn't bail. I just had to mix up the sort of workouts that I was doing.
Oh, fucking flies give me the shits, Lum. But
Yeah.
because I'm a beast.
Oh, they're a bit annoying.
Later that evening, I texted Mig. I said, hey, want to get a pad session in? He was down, didn't have his stuff with him, but went and bought some wraps and some new gloves, which I thought was pretty game of him, just given where we live. That was sort of a much more convenient thing to do.
Love, did you listen to Undertaker on Rogan?
I listened to like half of it. I haven't finished it.
Any good?
It's alright. Like, it's hard because Rogan, I feel like he doesn't really respect the WWE.
Yeah.
Like, he does in those terms of the amount of punishment and how much they work, but not really as a sport,
He
love.
doesn't understand the code that the Undertaker
Yeah.
had here.
Fixed up Mig's technique on the Thai pads, so it was a much easier session on his forearms.
I said toast, motherfucker, like yay, boy came in late. Or Jermaine when he made it great. Made my own lane, I ain't saving face. Amazing grace from the lames, it's your day to pray. You lay away, I set a blaze with my day to day. Aimless face on the spray with they bullshit. But I don't hear talking unless you did it like my crew did. I'm cruising, we all on our own path. Some reach a destination fast, some of us won't last. So raise the toast, motherfucker, fill the whole glass. RDB Champions League, that shit is all class. You 1,000 leagues beneath the sea, that's where your flow starts. Don't be getting gas and try to act like you can float out. I rolled up, eyes low with my man with cell to paint pictures.
So day 12, like I said, the goal was to focus on different areas, so I ended up doing a lower body strength workout. So a little bit awkward, me just in the in the apartment doing my thing. Yeah, mixing it up, just trying not to put too much pressure on the upper body. And then later on in the day, went for a good run.
Yeah, there's only four workouts left after this one, 2 days. And I just want to make sure that I really don't back off. I want this to be like proper workouts. I don't want to half-ass this at all. So I feel like I'm kind of doing that at the moment. Yeah, originally at the start it was do one hard one and then one sort of lighter technical one where there was like a jog or maybe slightly hit the pads with one of my friends doing the kickboxing stuff. But yeah, at this point I think I'm just gonna do as much as I can where it's not gonna like injure myself. So just choose the workouts widely, but that doesn't mean go easy. That just means push it in a different way, something that gets the heart rate up. So yeah.
So day 13 was a really dreary, miserable, kind of wet day, and so it was very dimly lit in my place. Don't have much like extra lights in there to do the filming, but I ended up doing some shadow boxing rounds just to mix it up again and not put too much weight on the arm. So I don't normally film myself shadow boxing, so to me it looks a bit awkward. It's certainly something that I need to work on, but anyway, got the rounds in. It's good for sort of visualizing an opponent in front of you, and once again, sort of not having those padded gloves with you will allow you to sort of refine your technique. So that was the goal with that.
Okay, it's pissing down rain at the moment. but I want to get the second one in before I head to work. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, but feel alive at the end of it, that's for sure. So here we go.
Multiple checkpoints that I normally pass were flooded, but just found an alternative route and just made sure that I kept going regardless of the direction.
Okay, just got done. Still raining. Yeah, I feel like you get a lot more out of these ones, like where there's really harsh weather conditions. I remember a few years back I went for a run. It was probably like 40 degrees Celsius. Something ridiculous, at least high 30s. And yeah, it's fucking stupid. It's not healthy for you physically, but I feel like the mental benefits you get from like pushing through that real discomfort. I mean, that's what this whole challenge has really been about. It's more just putting myself through that discomfort to see what sort of potential is actually there. How strong am I? You don't really know until you really push it. So these fucking wet, rainy, dreary days, it's so easy to get down. Yeah, I feel like when I really push through these ones, they're the ones that are really gonna pay off in the long run, as far as just being able to endure all the different shit that life throws at you and is gonna throw at you, even if you're naive to it now. So yeah, 2 more to go.
So day 14 came around. To be honest, by this point I was kind of pretty eager to get done with the 14 days straight. Not because I hadn't been enjoying it, but I just felt like my body certainly needed a break. But surprisingly, the last day actually went quite well. I don't know if it was because I was excited that I had gotten to the end of the challenge, because I seemed to have a fair bit of energy in the tank still. Hit the bags, was going a bit lighter on the hands once again, to sort of just because I wasn't sure about how my arm was going to hold up. So I was focusing a fair bit more on kicks and had a pretty hard, solid workout. Got a good amount of rounds in. Then later on, had a work shift. Then I came back to the gym in the evening. And so I thought I'd do a little bit of strength work to kick it off with some kettlebells. So this is more activating the whole body, like functional fitness exercises. So I thought this won't put too much isolated pressure on any particular body part. And so I'd sort of just push it until I was feeling any kind of pain. Fortunately, didn't feel much pain at all, which I was relieved about. And so pushed it a little bit, still didn't go too hard just in case. I didn't want to be silly and injure myself. So did some strength exercises. Then I got on the bike for 20 minutes, finished up, and that was the 14 days, done and dusted. Mostly what I felt after finishing this challenge was relief. I was proud that I had finished it, but honestly after that last session I was happy to just go home, eat, sleep, and then the next day I had a recovery day. Normally I'd be training, it was a Sunday. I was honestly just happy to give my body a well-deserved break, because I could feel the soreness adding up and those little niggles here and there that I spoke about, but honestly it was more relief at the end of the day that I had got it done and stuck to that commitment. One of the main takeaways from doing this challenge, now that I've had a bit of time to reflect, is that my idea of what my body can endure has changed. I'd only ever done these one-off 2-a-day workouts and I wasn't really sure of what I could handle on a physical level. I've got evidence now, having done this challenge, I mean with the video footage, but even just in my own mind, that I can handle this sort of pressure for 14 days. In order for you to actually believe in your own abilities in any area, you sort of need evidence that you can actually do the thing. Otherwise, it's very easy to doubt yourself, and the doubt creeps in regardless. But having done this and having recorded it and just having it in the back of my own mind as well, you know, it gives me a lot of confidence knowing that I could commit to this and I didn't bail on it. And I got it done despite the circumstances or the weather conditions or any of that. So one of the big takeaways was I now have evidence that I can push through a challenge like this, which I'm quite happy about. And I'm kind of surprised that I actually did do it. Like, I'm a little bit far removed from it at this point. It's been almost 2 weeks since I finished the challenge. So I've been going back to these single sessions and taking the recovery days each week. And I'm kind of surprised that I actually did it. Like, I just did the first 2-a-day workout that I had done since then yesterday. And as I arrived for that second one, I'm like, geez, I can't believe I did this for 14 days. And that's not gassing myself. I'm saying, like, I feel kind of far removed for it almost in some sense. But then once again, once you get the blood flowing, you warm up a little bit, then you snap into action and your body sort of, your mind follows from your body after that. I'm also happy that I got a small slice of what an athlete would be dealing with regularly as far as their training schedule, getting the 2-a-day workouts in. So that was quite fun to sort of live like that for a couple of weeks. Also, lastly, I want to say a huge thank you to all my friends and family that were involved in the challenge. My friends Jarek, Mig, my cousin John as well. The workouts with you guys were actually the most fun out of the whole thing. And I really appreciate you guys showing up, putting in some work and being a part of it. Also to my friend Caden for allowing me to borrow his mini tripod, which I used in some of the scenes. And lastly, thank you everyone for watching. Even if it's just a few people, I don't care. This was kind of a personal thing, but I recorded it in the hope that, you know, I'm a bit of an evangelist when it comes to physical training. Like, I love it. It's had a huge positive impact on my own life and it's trickled into other areas of my life. And so I hope that anyone else who watches this can gain something positive, whether it's just like a bit of motivation or an idea of what it's like behind the scenes, I guess, of the training. Whatever it is, I wish everyone watching this well, and yeah, good luck to you and all your future plans. So thank you, and I may talk to you soon.